Order submitted. All right, let's get this going. Let's fire up the VPT PTR Pro Trade Room for our YOLO Friday. Oh my goodness, what a morning it's been already. I'm trying to broadcast this over on YouTube. I think that might be working, maybe not. If you're over there on YouTube and it's working, say hello. And then watch this. I never do this after the cold plunge here this morning. I think what I'm going to do is turn this on for the folks in the room too. Hanging out in the bottom right-hand corner over here. So there you go. All right, everybody. Welcome to the YOLO Friday. There's a lot going on here, so I'm trying to be intellectually and completely honest. I'm not nervous. It's just that I have another goal going for myself too, which is to get one of these live accounts to $10,000 this month, and I was so far away, and then I just YOLO'd that the last couple days, put on some size, and we got that going on. That's the one that you see here in front of you. Rod, you're down on a 3-lot here. Oh, but if you only knew. I have 5 of the 17,500 short calls that expire today as well. So really, I shouldn't add there. We're going to add down. We're going to add down here at the -2s. All right, and let's just do a quick little orientation. A little bit of housekeeping rules because we'll have a bunch of new people here today. Of course, this is not meant to be a time to do a whole lot of training and education, but I'll try to fill you in on my thought process, the theory and logic behind what we do here. And what we do here is not do what I'm going to do today, which is put on a little bit of size and look to pass 5 Apex accounts. These are the Apex accounts right here. One's on Ninja. And just to make my life even more difficult, I'll also trade the ones that I have here on Trade-Evate. Now, these are through different account connections. These are not all the same accounts, so don't do that at home. Obviously, you choose one platform or the other, but now you can integrate the two. So I want to show that as well here. So I have a number here that are far ahead. So these are around 26,000. So we'll trade them all at the same time. The other thing to do is what I decided to do was hook the replicator up to the SIM account. So when I have a trade on SIM, that will mean that we're replicating across all those 5 accounts, and we'll track the profit and loss of this SIM account here, and then I'll show you all of these accounts here and what their profit and loss is, but it should be basically around the same. All right, let's go through our pre-market checklist here. Those that are in our trade room will have access to the pre-market checklist here. First thing we want to do is understand what is our trend on our 30-minute. We have a bull continuation pattern inside day. So nice setup for what we got going on today. And we have a clear offer zone up here where we're going to connect these 2 levels right here from here to here. By the way, I'm going to do my best to monitor both chats once we get going. So I'll take a look at those and answer any questions and interact once we get that going. Sorry, here we go. Load offer zone. So bull continuation pattern inside day, and look at how we're stacking up here on our VPOCs here. On Wednesday, it came in at 49.16. On Thursday, yesterday, 49.15, and now we have a developing value here of 49.14. So for what we do, which is looking mostly for mean reversion, not always. Trading is about being adaptive and situationally fluent. A lot of people think, oh, I got to learn this strategy or that strategy. Yes, you need to absolutely have a framework, but you want to also adapt and be able to look at a chart and go, hey, that's interesting. For the last couple days, we're playing this game of Pong where we have sellers about 10, 15 points above this VPOC, and we have buyers below. You can see the orders that I'm resting there. I'm resting to sell basically the highs of the week, which are around 49.33. This is called our offer zone. And then I'll be covering this short down here right above T line. But it is a bull continuation pattern because all price is taking place above this line here. The other thing we want to look at is 30-point. We've had a 30-point range, and our ATR is 42. So we have a 42 ATR. That's the average true range over the last 7-day period. And with that, we know that we have enough range to get going right away on our other strategy here, which is called stay in your lane. So this is stay in your lane right here. Let me put in another short right here.
Order submitted.
So these bands have widened up enough that we can actually trade these bands as well. Fun fact, during the cash session, 9:30 to 4 Eastern Standard Time every day, about 80% of price action takes place between 2 standard deviations of VWAP. So do with that what you will, but I don't know, that seems to put the odds on my side in terms of understanding where I want to be in the market if I'm looking for mean reversion. The Dow Jones is in a bull continuation pattern, also inside day, clear bid zone down here, clear offer zone up here. 175-point range is going to get you done in terms of enough volatility to start trading right off the open if you'd like, against the 317-point ATR. And now where I'll probably be spending most of my time today on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is also in a bull continuation pattern. Finally broke its fever a little bit yesterday. Obviously, it has been having a fever. So again, on this account that you're looking at, it's going to be a little tricky. Don't pay attention to this too much. Doesn't matter. I'll switch over to SIM, which will be the Apex accounts that we'll be trading. But I have short 17,500 calls. So right at this level right here. And those were way in the money for a while, and they still are. So though I'm long 3, I'm actually net short 2. So for those that want to follow along at home, you'll see how I handle this, because essentially if I end up getting long 5 and we stay above 17.5, they'll just offset today and we'll just take all the profits. The profits right now, this is what it looks like. Again, I won't show this screen all that much, but we're at 9,600, 9,600, started the month at 5. So we're going to double this account. And it wasn't looking good a while ago, but now you can see this particular position right here is the short put position, the short call position that has another $1,500 in juice in it if we end up closing below 17,500 today. All right, Russell. Friends don't let friends trade the Russell, but it does have a pretty nice range going on here. Bid zone that I don't have time to draw in. Why? Sure I do. Let's just draw in our bid zone down here. Let's go like this and like this. Here we go. Boom, boom. Boom and boom. All right. So there's our bid zone down there. Bull continuation pattern inside day. You can see that sellers have come in earlier in the week around the 2017 level. See if they want to jack up the small caps today. But the small caps have been given some really nice range, which is good. Crude oil, which I probably won't be trading today, is in a bull continuation pattern inside day. You have an SOS2 down here. That's where you have confluence between various levels. T-line, which is a 233 EMA, is always a level. And then here we have our prior session low. So this is a very, very high probability long. It would be an SOS2. When you have strength to signal that's stronger, you can do a number of things. You can choose to do what's the hardest thing to do, which is actually size up on entry. We all know how to get bigger in crappy trades, but it's very difficult to understand how to know when you might want to get bigger on entry. And we do that by what we call signal stacking, which is looking at various levels when they happen to align. And that's the case on crude oil right there. Again, I won't be trading crude oil or gold today, but members in our group will call those levels out. Here's a bid zone down here as well on gold. And when I'm doing this, folks, it's not discretionary. There's nothing discretionary. I'm just connecting 2 back-to-back prior session lows, okay? The fact that the market reversed there was completely random. It doesn't matter. We don't look for it. But now that it's found a level over 2 different days, we're going to draw in that zone as an area to potentially look at. That would be, at this point, we have a bear neutral pattern, basically. We're spending time below the T-line. So gold's got a little bit of a bearish tint to it. All right, then we also always want to take a look at our treasuries. I also won't be trading the treasuries today, but we had a PCE. We got a little bit of movement. Speaking of, want to take a look. Do we have anything else today? We have pending home sales. Today's the 26th, right? So we have nothing else today, not even Fed speak or anything. So most of the news is at this point out of the way. But there's your ZN. I'm short the 111 puts, so looking for the ZN to stay above this 111. We're getting a little movement here. The old me would take a look at this and try to pretend the future of what's going to happen in the stock indices today, but it's very random. But obviously rates are popping a little bit here, could put some pressure on an up and away kind of Friday, which is what we've been seeing recently. All right, let's go ahead and trade them up. Now, the most important part of today, everybody, the most important part of today is to understand that I'm not trading any of these accounts with a risk budget. The only responsibility you have as an active day trader is to establish, protect, and respect your risk budget. Today, we're throwing that out the window. And while I'm not going to trade minis, I'm also going to trade micros with no particular risk budget. If you wanted to get a sense of how most people in our community have in terms of their risk budget on $25,000 accounts, remember $25,000 accounts are only $1,500. That's how much I can lose today before getting knocked out because they're brand new accounts. You'd want to probably target about 10% of that total drawdown or 10% of the total account. That's essentially what you can do with any small account. If you have a $5,000 account, it's not unreasonable to have a $500 daily risk budget. Okay, I don't recommend that. It's probably a little big for beginners, but once you're pretty skilled, you can do about a 10%. Yes, 10% of your account value. Okay, 1 or 2% risk per trade doesn't work on small accounts. The math doesn't work. You can't do anything. You can't put on trades. Certainly can't trade a mini. So we have no risk budget today. And as such, we're gonna be pushing it a little bit. But under normal circumstances, the only job you have is to protect your risk budget. Okay? All right, one more minute and away we go. So again, this is a live account here where I'm starting short the S&P and long the NASDAQ. Normally I watch it like this, so let's watch the NASDAQ on the Brickwicks. Here we go. All right.
Order submitted.
Nice flat lanes here, so pretty productive. If it's your first time ever joining here, say hello. Tell me where you're from. Let me know if it's working on YouTube. I see the chat here, but oh, it is working. Okay, thank you. Hello from Atlanta. How are you? So if you're not familiar with the various ways in which you can copy trades, we use Replicanto. I'm a little bit behind on the releases. Replicanto is great for NinjaTrader. And since you can connect Ninja now also to Tradeovate, you can use Replicanto as your front end to copy trades. So by the way, when I pass these, they'll be the first ones that I've ever funded from this connection. So these are all in a row. No, they're not blown up before that. They're just all in a row. These ones up here are already done or close to it. So we could actually pass a bunch of them today. Anyhow, this is the copier that we use here. Okay. So when I go and place a trade in any of these accounts, they're going to get replicated over to these accounts here. Now, this thing I'm not super familiar about. Let's turn that off. Glad I looked at that because I don't want this. The other thing, just a little housekeeping, is I always connect to my Live Ninja account through Continuum and then Interactive Brokers, and then I connect to Rhythmic. The Rhythmic connection is generally pretty reliable and fine, but as you move forward with your trading, that's something. Okay, let's do this. I'm glad I looked at this because I did not set this up properly. These are the brand new ones that we just set up. All right. Now, for educational purposes also, and I've done some videos on this, we have a function over here called account grouping. And in this, I have both PAs here. So we have, for those of you see, these are the PAs. We won't be trading those today. And you can come in here and set up account groups and then drag in the accounts that you want in those groups and select the amount of quantity that you want in each of those trades, and that's way that you can copy trades over there as well. So lots of different options. So far, the NASDAQ is not acting that squirrely yet. It's respecting its plus ones, the offer zone here. At some point, we're going to have to throw caution to the wind and get involved. So let's just do it here.
Order submitted.
Also got to test and make sure everything's working because I haven't done a trade yet. So taking a quick look at what's happening with all the underlying here. Apple is flat. NVIDIA and Netflix was up again huge yesterday. So nothing to really tell here. It's not a compelling story. A lot of the Dow stocks have been all over the place, with IBM up quite significantly the other day, and healthcare is having a moment to the downside given the poor report from Humana. I basically look at that and only talk like that just to sound, relatively informed. By the way, picture and sound is good, right? Nick is here, and he's a futures fanatic. I love it. Good news is I actually feel better than I look on that camera. I feel a little bit better than I look. Not much. We started the day with the coffee machine, my brand new espresso machine. The grinder on top is not working. Didn't have any coffee that I could use for the espresso machine, so I had to go to the Keurig. Had to take it out. Welcome to this edition of First World Problems. Get in the game, man.
Order submitted.
I really should. I need to get in the game.
Submitted.
We're fiddling in the middle here, folks, so I'm going to wait to take a level that's an actual level, but we're going to have to get going here. There'll be a lot of days where I've been in a ton of trades already. All right. Come to butthead, as we say. Let's get some orders resting over here.
Submitted. Order submitted.
I can't even bring myself to take a crappy trade. I'm going to try. Yeah, whenever you don't have the coffee. So Ross is asking about experience with the Apex trade copier. The answer is I have none. We do have a decent thread inside of our community, our paid community, where people are using both and all. For a long time, it was just their copier was just a white labeled version of the Flowbots from Replicanto. Replicanto from Flowbots, the same thing. My understanding, though, is they have created their own, but no, I don't have any experience with it. Overall, been very, very happy with Replicanto, especially the amount of code releases and things that they do. For a while, I had a setup that I loved. It was just too complicated. I didn't really need it. It was I had distributed node setup, and I was trading between instances of Ninja on virtual private machines and then my main machine. So that was fun. But no, I don't know if anyone else has experience with it that's over there on YouTube. Chime on in. Oh, Dow Jones did not get another fill here, I don't think. All right, I'm going to sell the ask here.
Order filled.
That'll be our first trade of the day, a whole one lot short. Now let's make sure that the replicator's working right. Yep, we're good. Since we entered on the range trader, the target would be right here.
Order
But
submitted.
let's see if we can get a little add on there. Making $1,500, 50 cents at a time. I'm going to use the R1 as an additional entry. Normally, I don't do any of the floor trader pivots as an additional entry, but we're hanging out here right at the +2s. So let's do this the proper way. I'm going to go 81s, 86s. There you go. So, Rod, why are you shorting 286s? The answer is it's made up. I will sell like 6 to 8 ticks, new highs in the NASDAQ, new highs in the S&P, and then I use about 15 ticks in the Dow Jones if we make a new high. So we'll see. We'll see if we make a new high. So far, folks in the room, anyone playing the game of Pong between +1s and VWAP? You've had a couple nice trades in there. I should have been joining you. 50 cents a time, hard way to make it. Actually, it's $2.50 at a time if you replicate it across 5 accounts, right? So it's a half a mini. No, but in all seriousness, regardless of the outcome today, the idea of what we do here, folks, is we think risk first, and we keep our emotional capital well preserved. We have fun. We make money most days. We do it in a consistent, repeatable manner. We always understand. Like, again, I said that I'm not here to teach you these strategies today, but we've been joking this week about the meme that we created from Silence of the Lambs. It puts the orders on the lines, or else it gets the hose. What you see right here in front of you is an implementation of this strategy. 10 out of 10 dentist traders have to agree that that pink line is a line. That level right now is 571.25. Above it is 603.75. Do you take that pink line every day, all the time? Some traders will, some won't. Do you have the risk budget to trade all the way up to that next level? If you don't, you can't enter at 571. So what we have to do is start with something that's so simple that anybody can do it in terms of knowing where the entry is. Then all the fun begins, right? We want to use our analogies between checkers and chess and all these things. This is the checkers part. Then the chess begins. But everyone should understand. And then over here, this short is just in the offer zone, and it also corresponds to we're in the offer zone here. Now, the Dow, as you can see, has a different look than the S&P, than the NASDAQ even visually, because it's got this little slope to it. So the bands are between VWAP, SD2, and 1. Yes, that is correct. And the ones that I use here are the ones that are part of the order flow suite from NinjaTrader. So you do have to have a let's download this so we can show it in the room again. Hold on. Download image. Got to make sure that everybody has fun with, oh, I already have it. Never mind. It puts the orders on the lines, or it gets the hose again. So I'm using the order flow suite. We have a free version of something like this. It's not quite as good as the order flow suite, but you can also set up your charts. I haven't shown this today because I'm in a little dispute with TradingView over being a professional trader or not. So let's see if they are going to. Yeah, I love this. This is so great. Okay. So over here, we have the same strategies, except this is on a 5-minute bar. And this bid zone here is 2 standard deviations, and this offer zone is 2 standard deviations. Now, another thing you can notice is if you just look at this visually so far since we opened yesterday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Open, we creep down here a little bit, but we've been holding what some would call, a little bit of like a visual trend. So the flip side of this is no shorts here. You buy pullbacks to VWAP and then down to this high volume node here. So there's an adjustment that you can make too. That's what trading is all about. But today, by the letter of the law, I'm going to trade it from a mean reversion standpoint and look to be short in these particular areas.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, and we got to get involved here at some point.
Filled.
We can't just sit on our hands. So let's
submitted.
buy the pullback to VWAP, which is something you could do some days with totally flat lines. It's not something I would normally do, but we're YOLOing, baby. So we're in the game. What I can do is put it up here. God darn it. Oh well. We don't need to watch it in real time.
Order filled.
All right, we're adding, got a 3 lot there now
submitted.
on the Dow. So thank you to Steve who asked that question and put a question mark behind it. That helps because I can see it in blue. Did I miss any other questions here this morning? So Naz is asking about stay in your lane during the overnight session. The answer is generally no, unfortunately. These strategies are meant to be traded during the cash session because we have all the stats and data from the cash session, but we use the. All right, let's just book our first profit of the day.
Order filled.
First profit of the day.
Order
Do it there
filled.
too. Now it gives me the opportunity to buy the pullback to VWAP
Order
again.
submitted.
Does anyone want to keep track over here? I don't know if you care, but here we go. We'll put this over here. There you go. All right. If you don't win the first ones, you can't win them all. Yeah, someone's mentioning trading the DAX. That's not a bad idea. Look at the DAX. You can look at the Eurobond, the Bund, Euro dollar. Trading something that's more active during your. I have 2 friends that do something similar. They have a very different style. And they're managing money,
filled.
but they're CTAs, and they're in Asia, and they trade the Nikkei futures, which I don't really ever look at or do much with at all.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Yeah, because the whole idea behind stay in your lane is you need to have some range, right? And generally, there's no range until the markets open up and trade for a while. I don't know whether I like or dislike that we have just sort of a slow, orderly, sleepy day here.
Order filled. Order canceled. Order submitted.
By the way, so far, gang, I really haven't done anything YOLO-y. Like, this is like kind of standard stuff. The only thing that's a little different is me adding back in on small little moves in my favor on the Dow. Normally, I'd keep that at about a 2 if we were trading normally here. But so there's nothing about what you're seeing here that's YOLO yet. So. If you really want to get crazy, all these swing levels here are also levels. You can trade any one of these swing levels too as additional adds. So the VWAP is the level. I move this down to this little swing here, and then this one is being informed by that swing there.
Order filled.
All right, $50, done. No, but in all seriousness, there's $250 for some. You could just be done. Done with your morning. We have 1,450 left to go, assuming we don't lose, which we're going to lose at some point here.
Order submitted.
Another thing about the NASDAQ right now is, hey, Rod, why did you take small little profits there? Well, that's what the market was doing. It's choppy and sloppy. So when it's choppy and sloppy, trade the chop and slop. This line here, the VWAP line, is flat as a pancake. So when it's flat, it just means it's as random as it gets in terms of up or down, right? So when it's choppy and sloppy, take the little profits. I don't have a bias, long or short. I really don't care. It does help that I have a little bit of short inventory here in live as well. So right here, I'm going to move this up to this kind of overnight low here of 48.99. Remember, that's a live trade there.
Order submitted.
Yeah, so Steven, we had a question similar. I don't trade the overnight sessions. I have a lot of working orders very often, but they're often options orders in the treasury markets. So, so not my bag, but.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
I said, have taken a payout yet. He has traded for 2 years. I took a bunch of payouts when Apex first started, along with all the other firms. I haven't taken any payouts from Apex in probably since 2021. And I don't know if I will. I mean, we're tracking along these. So we have a bunch of PAs. We just use them as in fact, I went and got funded just so that I could create YouTube content around it without people saying, I don't see you on the payout lists. We have a channel in here. This is one of my favorite channels right here. Because this is what matters, funding and certs. Not only the funding, but it's you guys taking payouts. It's showing that slow and steady acorns to oak trees. It's you guys taking payouts. When I do my payouts, I show it generally from real money, like what people would care about. I don't know. When's the last time I did something in here? There we go. So I pay myself 10 grand. Anyway, here to learn. What I love about these prop programs is they've also validated, if you want, or whatever, the concept of demo trading. I mean, you see right on the screen there, it's Sim 101, but it's for monitored accounts. We can keep score. We can practice, and you can practice with. Oh, I don't know. No, it's no problem, Nick. But I was there. There have been people that had. I love the transparency because what I want to show here is this is important. I thought you were referring to this if someone was commenting. Let me show you these numbers. I want to show you these numbers. Let me show you these numbers. Okay, see this? This is 100. So I'm up to 100 even. Okay, and then these are the very first 5 that have ever been funded here. So they're all in a row. So that's what I thought you were, because people look at those numbers because unfortunately the downside is there's a lot of people that have spent a tremendous amount of money, death by 1,000 paper cuts in these programs. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do that anymore. You can spend the $20-something, and if you're not YOLOing like we're doing today, practice, use a daily risk budget. You don't have to be a member of our group or follow our strategies, but if you just abide by a daily risk budget, keep it at 10% of the account value of the drawdown, or 10% of your total account value. Can I get a 1 in the chat if you understand this concept of risk budget and how to establish one as a starting point? This is really important. If you had 5,000 actual dollars, okay, it's not unreasonable to have a 5 to 10% daily risk budget once you have some skills. If you want to turn 5,000 into 10,000, you have to be putting on some risk. What's not reasonable is to have a $2,500 or $3,000 drawdown against your $5,000, because that's insanity. That's losing 50% of your account value. So as long as you play the math properly, we just hit target there again on the, we hit target again on the, what is it? The NASDAQ long. So here's keeping score at home. This is what this looks like so far.
Order filled. Order canceled.
Good. All right. So a lot of people that are on trial: Joe, James, DC, AI, DeMarco. That's it. Establish, protect, and respect your daily risk budget, and you will make progress in these programs. You'll also stop with all the negativity and complaining about, I got to wait 5 days to get paid, or this, or they're all a scam. I mean, it's just not true. I've been promoting them and talking about them since the day they started. I point out all the pitfalls when I find them. But they're a tremendous learning tool and opportunity. Tremendous. Tremendous.
Order canceled.
All right, so now for this piece of inventory, I'm going to leave it on for a touch-up there. I did get short the S&P at not a great... That was a little sell into the hole there. All right. Funded futures signals. I'm seeing what you wrote there. I don't know if I can comment or look at those levels right now. If you have not participated in a 2-week free trial, you can go over to my website and there we go. Look at that. Let's watch the download an image. Can I share that in the room? Do you mind? Well, you shared it in the room. I meant share it in. Look at that. So the thing here also is, I know a lot of people can pass these things. It's the way you pass them, and then the transition from getting the funded account to trading your funded account in a way that doesn't stress you out and is just a natural transition between what you were doing before. Working on your second account. I love it. So there's someone that's commenting on about a risk per trade. It's really difficult to do risk per trade on these smaller accounts. So we're talking about total risk per session. That's if you take one trade or 100 trades. You know, it's your total risk per session. Steve, nice day. ZB heading south, as is the ZN. Well, that's definitely one way to do this. Here, let's get this set up. Ooh, I don't even have a ZN here. We're going to trade the treasuries today in our YOLO. All right, we had some new pending home sales. We did have our pending home sales. I forgot about that. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
So we're really not getting all that much movement here today for our efforts, but you know, it's working out a little bit.
Order submitted. Order filled.
So quick on the positions. I am now in a ZN, baby. So we're long the ZN as well. That could help or hurt, but it's a good level down there. The actual level is the bid zone, which starts at essentially at 110 spot 295. It's easier to see this over here. So the bid zone is right here, 110 spot 295. I'll trade that in these accounts too. 110 spot 295 right there. Yes, we're putting some. Does less movement make it harder? It certainly makes it more difficult to make $1,500 in micros in one day. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the only thing I could do is throw minis in here. Man, I love the P&L porn that you guys are putting in the room there. That's awesome. The slow and steady, slow and steady. Okay, we got the Dow coming in a little bit. I'm looking for it to fall apart a little bit more. God, this NASDAQ keeps...
Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, 4-lot incoming on the MNQ. Man, we've been fiddling in the middle here for a while. All right, next ad is at the minus
Order filled.
2s. Checking in, we're eating into our profits. Could get ugly.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, let's take one off the little
Order
bounce there.
submitted.
Come on, hit it, hit it. Oh, no. Teased us.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, back in the green. We're back in the green.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, now we got the
Order
opportunity to
submitted.
come back in on the pullbacks. Keep some inventory on for a move maybe up to VWAP there. Is there anybody that would be happy with what you see on the screen right there, right now? Would you be like, hey, this might work for me. I see what's going on. I understand the theory and logic. I'm trading 3 markets, NASDAQ, Dow, and S&P.
Order filled.
NASDAQ is long and S&P and Dow are short. That's not as hedges. I'm not short one to hedge the other. We're trading the strategies. There's a short in the Dow up there in the offer zone on the range trader, and we have longs here on the NASDAQ. Next long will be at 504, that little swing right below the -2s that you see there. Tom, hello, I'm new. Wrote a email. Okay, I'll try to look. I get so many emails. It's difficult to get to all those, but I'll probably forward it to Brad. So if you guys have any questions about this this environment, we have a advocate and a lot of great community members that are helping newer people get acclimated to whether this is a good fit for them.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order submitted.
Kirill, I've had a great week. I'm going to call it. Oh, awesome. Low emotional capital score every day. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. Those of you that are over on YouTube, I have a website, and you can sign up for a free trial at any time and come in and let me put this in here in the chat. Just go to the website, look for get started for free get the free Futures Fanatic Foundation Course, and then can also take a look at the trade room. God, we got some really good P&L porn here today. Yeah, the one thing that I can't do, even in the spirit of what we're trying to do, is I can't put on additional size at silly areas, or I can't do anything other than what the market provides, right? So as ranges go, this one has been really narrow.
Order filled. Order submitted.
How can I learn? So the question, yeah, the way to learn is to attend every day of a 2-week trial, watch all of the replays. Every session is recorded. They're available for members in our Discord session, or you can just come right in here in the room and find the recordings.
Order filled.
And then you have to practice. The way you learn is by practicing. I'm here as sort of like a mentor, just to show you what's possible, talk through. So for instance, in this trade now, we got to hold off for the +2s. Excuse me, the +1s. So, but before even starting with the strategies or learning to trade, what you want to learn how to do is establish a daily risk. I mean, I sound like a broken record here, but honestly, gang, you guys could come in with a $150 ironclad risk budget and a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, 10 points in the S&P to make 10 points in the S&P, and push a button like a drunk monkey and do nothing other than let it go to one or the other, and you'd be well ahead of the game. Because some days you'll make money, some days you'll lose money. But as long as you always hit the close button any single time you get close to your risk budget, you can't blow up or lose. I know that might sound silly, but hopefully everyone understands that. Just start there. I literally mean just put a bracket order in for 10 points in the S&P and go long or short at random. Doesn't matter. Who cares? If you start foundationally there, you could trade for 6 months and never blow up an account. Now, are you going to make any progress? Are you honing, developing, enhancing your trading skills? No. But the one thing you're doing is seeing whether you're capable of at least managing risk. Because the key to doing this, folks, is just not losing money. Well, I know that, Rod. No, you don't. You don't. If you're losing money consistently, stop doing that.
Order filled. Order submitted.
Oh, we got some good drunk monkey. Does the 1 day to pass apply to new accounts only? My understanding is this time it applies to new accounts only. So you have to buy one of the new ones. If you'd be so kind as to use my code, that'd be great. TDG. TDG something. TDG 1 day. By the way, while you're here, you can make sure you explore some of the various areas inside the trade room. Let me do this over here. So over on my website, I have a little tour. Let me find this tour. I fixed it. Here we go. All right, let me grab this URL. Make sure you copy this and watch it a little later. It's only like a couple minutes or whatever. But it'll show you all the various things that you can do while you're in here. And one of them is to grab this whole workspace if you want it, which is this whole workspace here.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, you guys following along at home? I mean, probably just getting lucky, but maybe this approach works. So we're up $175. You can see that across all of the accounts. In the upper left-hand corner for people that are in the room, there's 3 lines. It's called a hamburger menu. If you click on that, you go to Archives Recordings. You can watch all of the recordings for including today's session. If you have to leave early, recordings right here. Uh-oh.
Order filled.
My machine is officially going, hey, don't do that. Yikes. Jeez, this thing is... All right. I'm going to close that. Anyway, you can get there. It's starting to get mad. The machine's getting mad.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, so far they can't break this fever. I got a fever.
Order filled.
All right, we're slowing down a little bit here. So if you guys do have questions, let me see if I can read the questions over here on YouTube. I can't do that one, that long one. If you take that, okay. Ask any questions if you're watching over there on YouTube. God, I think I might. What do they call it? Shadow banned. I have 15,000 something subscribers, and there's 28 people watching. So I gotta stream a little bit more, get my streaming game on. No, the way to get people to watch the stream is you have to. Everyone's over there on Top Step now, so they can get their free reset. They want their free reset because there's still people that blow up prop accounts. Speaking of, let me do this over here. And the browser is slowing down. Go Nazi. Can't seem to do it. Can't seem to give us a
order filled.
Do. All right. Is the trading room open most days of the week? It is open 5 days a week. 5 days a week. By the way, the pretty bad singing is included in your membership. It's included in all trials, too. 5 days a week. We're here from 8:15 Central to 10 Central. People like me to quote things in Central because that's kind of like the way that the futures work. But I'm in Las Vegas. So for me, it's 6:15 a.m. till 9. All right. I want to.
Filled.
God, what is going on with this thing? Come on. There we go. All right. So here we go. Yet another TDG way. Let's trade the S&P here. Maybe. God, this browser is like... Apparently, even with this badass machine, there's only so much stuff you can run at one time. All right. At this point, I'm going to run a sell stop here for the first time. First time ever, we're going to run a sell stop on this.
Submitted. Order canceled.
And see if we can get it up to that level there. I'm also going to take profit on one of these. If we get there.
Order filled.
Okay, we're stopped out. Finally stopped out. Nice trade. Anyone take some of that NASDAQ from those zones down in there?
Order canceled.
And let's come over here. Ooh, we got...
Order filled.
All right, so the trade room is open Monday through Friday. You can sign up for free. No credit card required or anything like that over on tradersdevgroup.com. What computer do you have that can have 100 charts? I have the Alienware, like the top most expensive Alienware that you can get. I'm not really good on all the stuff like that. I believe it has 64 mega RAM, but I have a lot. First of all, I have one gigantic monitor and then 3 others. I got here. This is the setup now. Do we have a hardware channel? Where's our hardware channel? Here we go. So this is the setup. So I'm powering all that. You got all that going on. And then I have TT, Interactive Brokers, NinjaTrader, 7,000 web browsers open. The broadcasting software for the room, the broadcasting software for YouTube. We got it all. Man, look at this Dow. Keeps going up. We're losing on the Dow and the
order filled.
All right, what happened there? I think we got we got filled on another one.
Order submitted.
There ain't no sellers on Friday. All right, come to Butthead. I liked it better when the NASDAQ was going down. All right, what is your daily schedule? How many hours a day are you trading live? We just do it in the morning. Mornings are way more profitable. Mornings give you more opportunity. Don't trade the afternoons. Most people aren't profitable. There's no need to spend your whole life in front of a computer when you can come in here and do this. Eating into our profits a little bit. New highs for the Dow Jones. Man, the ZN has not moved at all. We are approaching our 90. We're at 90.
Order filled.
9,700. All right, sold one of those Nazis. Now I need the Nazi to come down.
Order submitted.
Come down in time was the message she gave to me. Average daily profit goals. We don't have profit goals. No profit goals. We just have risk budgets. Today, the profit goal is $1,500 an account. I hate to tell you, if you've been watching for a while, I think I'm going to come up a little short. I think I'm going to come up short. But it was a fun exercise. I was going to try to see if I could pull myself to have, 8 to 10 micros, a full mini across all the instruments, but I just can't do it. Yeah. Profit goals take care of themselves. Don't have profit goals. You can have weekly profit goals, I think, are fine. Weekly and monthly profit goals are fine. The next question that happens all the time is, how long would it take me to pass if I did what you did or whatever? It depends. If you're a bozo and you don't want to put in all the extraordinary effort that it takes to become a good trader, it can take you forever or never. If you're someone like Ray or some other people that came in here and watched every single replay when they started a membership, then you can move pretty quickly. You can move through it pretty quickly. All right, I'm going to move this up to a high of day here for a 3 lot. You could scale into a little bit more, but Bull's got the ball right now. All right, for educational purposes, we will run I think the high was 600. What's the high for today? MNQ is 611s, so we need to go like, yeah, we'll do 611 plus 6 or 7 points, brings you up to there.
Order submitted.
All right. We got any other questions in here? We answered that. We answered the computer question. Do I get a template as a member? You can have everything for free. You don't have to become a member. The entire workspace is in the files drive. You can grab that. There's cheat sheets for how to build out everything here on TradingView and on Trade-of-8 and on NinjaTrader. But this service is about one-to-many mentoring, if you wanted to call it as a service. The only thing you need to do is practice trading. But you need to practice trade. Ooh, my camera's all freaking out. What was I doing? Ooh, I put my head is gone. The graphics card can no longer All right, I'm gonna turn that off because that's just freaking me out. It looks a little weird. All right, turn off the camera. Well, I'm biased because I'm a guy that is trying to help as many people as I can this year. So the question is, what's the best way to practice this? The best way to practice this is here with me every day. That's the best way to practice this. If you want to get better at anything, you have the problem with well, there's a problem with a lot of things. It's like, but the problem with trading specifically, in terms of finding a guided practice schedule, because that's what we're doing. This is guided practice from a very informed person, me on the other end of the mic, is, if you're taking guitar lessons from someone, at some point you would expect him or her to play the guitar in front of you, or that they already gig, or you can just tell that they're accomplished and have practiced a lot more than you. And then all you have to do is assess whether their educational style and their material and whatever can help you out. And that can be true for anything else. I don't understand why people have believed that in trading, you're going to get any better until you're not searching for the holy grail or the best trading strategy, but you do need to have some mentorship and some guidance and a practice regimen. By the way, they're really starting to buy here, so we're eating into our profits. S&P up to new highs. Dow Jones is the one that's leaving a mark. So that's my 2 cents on that. If it's not me, then it's got to be somebody. But this nonsense that you can learn everything you need for free, that's bullshit. You can't. I'm self-taught. Okay. I'm not self-taught. I traded with some of the best traders in the world for 6 years. I like to think that I've become one of that clan for what I do. By the way, what I do is sell options on treasuries. I don't do what you're seeing in here. But what you're seeing in here is my version of something that is repeatable and works for these prop programs, and is showing that a lot of people, when they apply themselves, are having success with this approach. All right. Can you explain how to get a payout from Top Step? Why do you need? You can go to their website or watch or ask their customer support how you get a payout from Top Step. Yeah, they have a consistency rule, and they have both funded and Sim Live accounts. Meet the requirements that they say and request the payout. That's how it works. So question, now that we're at these highs. So on the NASDAQ, let's talk about a particular instrument. I will get back in on a pullback. At this point, I require a move back to 540. If I truly was getting really aggressive and stuff here, you can use this pink line as an entry point to get back in. We have a lot, more room to move to the upside in the NASDAQ for sure. If you look at the these levels here, so there's a lot of room to go. But this is actually how I would do it, something like this.
Order submitted.
So yes, I'd be looking to get back in the NASDAQ on the long side out of a move back to VWAP. S&P and the Dow, I'm just in pain trade, just looking for graceful exits or for the opportunity to get out of some of these if the market comes back in. I'm actually short here live too, so I have a 3 lot on here. I didn't take any of it off because I'm looking for these. So this is live trading that's truly range trading. You can't do these in the prop programs because you can't hold positions through the. But you could always put them on again when the market reopens. All right. What is the yellow dotted line on the? Oh, great question. So this is a 233 EMA. It's not really used on this strategy. On this over here, this is important. This yellow dotted line here is the same thing. It's a 233 EMA. It's called our T line. So it's our quick trend filter. We don't have biases and always trade one direction or the other, but you do have to understand very quickly. I went through decades of trying to teach people with various different time frames, and multi-time frame analysis for day trading will just make your head start to spin. So the highest time frame we have is just a 30-minute, and then occasionally we'll look at a 2-hour or 4-hour if we've had a big break in trend or move to orient ourselves. But good question. It's a 233 EMA, so we use it as a trend filter. It's on both charts, but it's only applicable on the range trader, which is the chart on the left. All right, we answered that question. We answered Brian's question. So on the range trader here, you don't even really, this short of 617 is just a new high by 6 ticks. It's not really a level. And then the next one's way up here at 695, which is where I'd be taking off this next one over here, this live trade.
Order filled.
Order filled.
All right, we got our first fill here on the S&P.
Order filled.
They're starting to buy here on a Friday. Not a good time to be short. I'm going to cancel this here.
Order canceled.
Because we already have a good amount of short exposure here. Dow's really going. Okay, full transparency. Barely up. We were up bigger before, but we're controlling our risk here. Is it required for one account I don't understand that thread. I'll let someone else answer that thread. You can have up to three funded accounts in the sim to live on Top Step, up to 3. I have 3 that are in the evaluation phase. They're 250s and 100. The balance on this one is 102,691. So options on treasuries, no, I don't teach that. I do have some content on futures options in general, and that is a bigger part of what we're been doing this year, but it's been the ongoing joke that it's been a work in progress for a long time, because it seems like it's a much more of a niche market than I thought. I'm actually going to buy here. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I have short calls. So don't do that at home. Someone was asking about if I buy the pullback. That's a pretty narrow pullback to get long. But I'm short 17,500 calls. But yes, members of our group will get access to, they get access to me, and we have a whole channel in here on options, and this channel is on futures options for the most part. There's people that put in some other option stuff, but I did some training on options on futures right here, on some recaps on some trades. Oh, it doesn't have the net liquidity on that. I'm trying to find a screenshot from earlier. So yeah, we have a options channel in here. Did you guys watch the graceful exit video? Some of you did. You guys were asking about daily P&L. We call this our P&L porn in here. Notice it's usually green, not always. I encourage people to post their red days too, and people do post their red days. Yeah, Discord is for members only. So there's a lot of people that love their free Discord and free this and free that, and it's just a nightmare of mishmash. Our Discord is highly valuable because it's serious traders that have made an investment in themselves, and we have a lot of great threads and conversations going on in there. What's that? That movie, Airplane, right? Where he's like, "I picked a bad day to be doing glue. We picked a bad, lousy Friday." Imagine if we had one of those Fridays where there's a Friday in the Nasdaq 2 weeks ago, where it just went up like 300, 400 points. We were long. I was long. That would have been a good day for it.
Order filled.
All right. Making some new highs here.
Order submitted.
Yeah, I don't see how the S&P doesn't go up there and scare the kids a little bit above the prior session high. So we'll probably make a new high in here, which is not going to be great for my positions there. We're basically back to down money now. So we are ways away from our goal. Needed to have some NASDAQ short in there. Excuse me, NASDAQ long to offset this. Now, the important thing on the shorts here on the Dow and the S&P is there's no additional ads on the Dow at all. We're outside day up, and there's nothing to do. We're outside the ranges. There is one ad left on the S&P there, which would be the 49.33s. Now, what I'm going to do is go 6 ticks higher to basically 40. So it's a new high by 6 ticks above that level. You can also do new highs by 6 ticks on each new high up here, but I'm not going to do that. Join the ask here, and then here. We have symmetrical double tops. It's not a bad place to put on a short here. It's at the +2s.
Order filled.
Is there any way to get the order flow VWAP free? Not the one that's on Ninja. We have one in the files area. It is called, what's it called, gang? VWAPs devbands.zip. Now, I've never used that. There was someone that was actually a trial member that came in here and did that for us. So
order filled.
So you can, you can go take a look at that, apply it to your machine, and see what you think. It's not the volume profile though. It's the VWAP bands. So sorry, it's not a volume profile. On either of these shorts, especially the Dow, you of course you can run a stop. I'm not adding any, but no, there's no stop for me up there at this point. It's just giving back profits from earlier, so you can see that on the day I'm down $33. So we'll be okay overall. The important thing is to realize that this Dow trade absolutely qualifies for the graceful exit, which is the video that I did on here. Let me grab this for folks, and I can put in the room here. The criteria and use of what do you call it? Of the graceful exit. So this is 16 minutes of your life that I hope is pretty well spent. Yeah, there are versions. There are plenty of free versions of the VWAP, and remember, they're free on TradingView. You can this is a really good one on TradingView. It's called Standard Bands VWAP Mod 2. So on trial, there's a whole checklist and worksheets on how to set up this whole environment for yourself on TradingView if you want. Look at the Treasury, still holding on, holding this 111. I'm short from right here, 111 puts. So far, they're not going to come get me. I'm bummed about the markets continuing to work higher, but that's just what we're getting all the time. So we had a little two-way to start the day, and then the two-way went away. No more two-way. It's one way. So I'm going to stick around for an additional half hour today. Normally we end at about 8, 10 Central, but we'll stick around for another half hour here. So in the demo accounts, I have no position on the NASDAQ, just looking for pullbacks to get long. Here's all the lines there. I have one order resting way up there at 695. Today didn't have time to go through rules of projection and that type of stuff, but if you scroll back up in chat, you're going to have to scroll a while because we have a lot of people in here today. But if you scroll back up in chat, let's download this. So this is our pre-trading checklist. This worksheet is available for members inside the inside Discord. God, we just hit another high. So we just hit new high on the MES. So I shorted one live there, and we have one more coming in here at 34.5. Looks like we're going to come up and make again another series of new all-time highs on a Friday, at least for the morning session. So what we got going on here is everything you need to know to orient yourself to your trading day. And I won't go through all of this in detail, but again, hanging out in the room for a little while, we'll make sure all these concepts are clear. But at a very high level, what we have going on here is what is our range, expected range in points? What percentage of that range is represented in volatility as relative to the ATR? Are we bullish or bearish inside or outside day? And is the trend up, down, or neutral? And then we have what are called our rules of projection. And those are derived by taking the only two things that matter is volatility and volume in trading. That's all that matters. Really nothing else matters. Volatility and volume. So what we do is we take the prior session's highest volume node, which we called VPOC point of control, and then we take one ATR from above and below that. So as you can see here on the Dow Jones today, the rule of projection high is coming in at 372s at 38,372. We are currently printing 38,352s. We were just a moment ago, right? So, by the way, full disclosure, I want to make sure everyone sees that we're red now, but you can see realized profit versus, anyway, you guys can make heads or tails of this and understand.
Order filled.
Let's close that out. A little quick scalp that we caught. They went up, made a new high, and then reversed a little bit. See if we can get this Dow to come in, give us a little bit of relief. It's actually the first meaningful retracement that we've had. So I'm going to show you a graceful exit in action. It's the very first one we've had, right? So what I'll do is I'll do it using a buy stop.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, and now we can sell a new high because we have inventory again. 84, 91, something like this. There you go.
Order submitted.
And now my profit's going to come down to there. So this is actually turning out, even though I'll be woefully short of our goal of passing today, it's going to turn out to be a really, really good session because it's an example of the acorns to oak trees approach, keeping your size in check, trading what you have while you have it, which was a little bit of two-way movement in the S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ to start the day. And then we found a little bit of a trend to the upside faster than we normally would. There's a lot of time left in the day. We could reverse the whole thing. We could stay trending and make new highs on a Friday. Anything can happen. But the important thing is that we're around to see it by virtue of doing what you're always told not to do, which is trade your P&L. The reason that term has gotten a negative connotation to it is because it's the way...
Order filled.
What happened here? Hold on. We're short the NASDAQ. Okay, so short the NASI. Jeez. This NASI came up and made a new high, huh? Didn't even see that. Yep. Go NASI. It's no bueno for me. So now we're pushing right back up. So teeny little bit of selling there. Anyway, I lost my train of thought, but I think what my train of thought was that trading your P&L is the only way to do things. The only way to do things is to make decisions relative to your risk budget, relative to your positions, relative to the markets you're trading. How else can you do anything? I often joke it's like saying you can play poker without worrying about how many chips you have in front of you or how many chips your opponents have. Those are key components of your decision. The whole idea don't trade your P&L is because it's always has this negative connotation. At that point, someone's flipped the bozo bit, they're revenge trading, they're trying to get back money they lost and all things like that. So give it more of a positive spin and learn to trade your P&L. Learn to understand that your P&L and your risk budget is what informs all the decisions that you need to make. Could I do an ad here on the S&P and the Dow now if I hadn't taken a graceful exit? Probably not. Could I do an ad or even hold them if I didn't have $164 of realized profit? No. Because if I didn't have $165 of realized profit, I'd be into the red close to my risk budget. By the way, my risk budget on $25,000 accounts is $440, way higher than most people should be. But when I'm trading these, I use $440 because your risk budget is informed by a number of factors. One happens to be also your ability to have outsized days. You can't have a $400 risk budget if you've never had consistent $400 winning days. But if you get to that skill point, then you can do that. You can increase your risk budget. Today, there is no risk budget on these accounts. As I said, I'm not trading with a risk budget. We happen to be inside of what would be a reasonable risk budget right now, but markets continue to move higher, and I'm short, so it could get ugly. Roland, oh, hold on. Let me move down to the bottom, see if I'm missing any questions. Okay. So we talked about the free VWAPs. Long question. DCs, let me publish this question in the room so that it's a show message to all. There we go. You advise to place your stop order at 20% of the 7-day ATR above or below your entry, and you take profit when the price touches the volume weighted. However, do you still take the trade if the distance to VWAP is smaller than the distance of your stop loss? Okay, this is a really good question. So first of all, he's saying I advise a stop loss of 20%. That is just one of many ways that you can have a stop, okay? You can do, I think the more advanced version of that, and this will answer your question, DC, is to measure the distance between your entry and your target and then place your stop as 1-to-1 or lower than that distance. So let's have an example. If you were to short the NASDAQ right here at 621s, and your target was 544. By the way, you can have multiple targets. One of them can be this pink line. But let's just say, to keep it simple, you're going to go from 621 down to 546. Right? So you measure that distance. Where's the ruler here? So we enter here, and we have a target here. So that's our target of 76. Let's keep the math simple. If you want to have a 2-to-1, place your stop at 33 points. Does that make sense? Now it's always dynamic. So measure that real quick, place your stop. Now the thing that's tough about that whole thing is it's always easy for us to allow something to hit our stop, right? You can place a stop 33 points at 653s, and believe me, everyone is able to allow it to hit that. What's very difficult is to hold for that target all the way down there at 544, right? Can I get a 1 in the chat if that makes sense, DC? You need to see what I'm saying? Now, a machine can do that, but it's hard for a human to do that. So just weigh all those factors, and that's better than using the 20% ATR. And that solves your problem too, right? Because now you're using the dynamic values to we're right back up to new highs. So this is the idea also, new high by 6 ticks. I'll just sell another new high by 6 ticks there. Great question. Any other questions? All right, question over here. How I'm going to sell MNQ at 509. Okay, that's 120 points from here, so let's hope it gets there. How do you decide if cutting losses are needed? By your daily risk budget. Your only job is to protect your daily risk budget. There'll be days in which every trade works and you're just in a flow and you don't even have to consider it because just the trades are just working. They're going line to line. They're working, or your strategy is working and it's flowing. It's another term I dislike, which is, I'm not seeing the market clearly. Everyone says that when they're losing. I'm not seeing the market clearly. Now, if I don't have enough coffee, sometimes I can't see the lines, or if my glasses have a smudge on them, but I never not see the market clearly. I'm okay if you want to say like you're out of sync a little bit, but a lot of the time that has more to do with your mental state or just how you're feeling, but it's not an accurate reflection. So this is a question on YouTube, which is, how do you decide if cutting losses is needed? There's an absolute there. If you are anywhere close to threatening your risk budget, you hit the close button and you're done.
Stop filled.
All right. We have a small green number over there, $20. $20. NASDAQ's coming in. Is anyone short the NASDAQ? Give me a 1 in the chat if you've been kind of short up here and dancing between the raindrops. Keep it light and tight. Obviously, everything's higher, but see, if I had a multi-contract on and I was anywhere near here, I would have taken one here and then rested again and then play that from the short side. So we're getting a little bit of healthiness there.
Order filled. Order submitted.
Don't do that at home. I got long on that pullback because I need to be long some here. I'm short two. I'm short two because I have 17,500 short calls. Oh my goodness, we got green for a second again, everybody. We're green for a second, for a hot minute. All right, we're going to gracefully exit one of these here.
Order filled.
And now I'm going to come in a little bit more size on the Dow.
Order submitted.
Mark, I did publish the graceful exit video. I just put it in here. It's in Discord and it's right here. There you go. It's fantastic too. No. Let's go through the lesson real quick on graceful exit since we have a lot of people here in the room. So graceful exit is a dynamic, powerful trade management technique that has a decent amount of discretion in it, but also allows you to systematically, mechanically, and repeatably do something that a lot of people have trouble doing, which is cutting losers and letting winners run. So here's what graceful exit is. It simply means if a trade quickly goes against you, does that mean 1 second, 1 minute, 5 minutes? I don't know. It depends on your time frame. For me, since I'm actively trading these brick wicks and I'm in quite a decent amount of trades, I would say that the S&P and the Dow now are in graceful exit territory because those trades from when I got short on the second round quickly went against me. Okay? So actually, this is an example of being able to gracefully exit right here. I'm going to take another graceful exit here by virtue of putting in a buy stop. And same thing here. This one I'm just going to take and sell some new highs.
Order submitted.
So here we go. Let's go through graceful exit. Campaigning around it short right here. Not great areas to be short right into VWAP. Let's not worry about that. Here's a short here that's fine at the plus ones, and it immediately goes against me, right? No favorable excursion at all. Immediately goes against me. Now, the next criteria is it significantly going against me? All right, well, how do we measure significant? Again, everything that I teach and train on is frameworks, right? I know there's a lot of people that are really hung up on, if I can't measure it and if you can't show me how I'm an engineer and this, that, and the other, good luck as a trader, right? You got to be more fluid and you have to be able to assess some of these things in real time. So if you want a number for significant, I don't know. How about 20% ATR? How about 50% of your risk budget? If your risk budget is $100 and a trade is $50 against you, I would say that you are now officially in graceful exit mode, okay? So two criteria. The two criteria are, let me turn my camera on again and see if the camera's working, if it's not freaked out. Okay. Oh, I should turn the lights on over here. Hold on. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, looks a little better, although I do look orange. All right, so our criteria is, did the trade immediately go against me or you or us? Criteria number one, definitely met on the S&P short. It's also met on this Dow short here too, right? Here's the Dow short. Criteria number two, was it significant? Yes, this was significant enough to eat into my profits this morning pretty well. So now I'm in graceful exit mode. Now, how do you execute a graceful exit? On the first retracement in your direction, reduce your size. Okay? Ultimately, a lot of people like to gracefully exit as a scratch. That's a good target to try to scratch it, but sometimes things move so fast against you, you can't enter it as a scratch. So just reduce your size. Okay? Everyone, can I get a 1 in the chat? You got graceful exit? I mean, there's a little bit more nuance, but not a whole lot more to learn. Did the trade go against me quickly? Did it go against me significantly? Okay. When's the first opportunity I get to reduce my size? Just do it. Now you have something that actually helps you, because everybody else teaches, no, you know, the reason you're not doing well, Doris, is because I have told you that these two targets and stops are religious, and unless you become mechanical and do it religiously and all this kinds of nonsense. Or, you know, then, well, you'll do it this one time and the price will end up going in your favor and you would have made a lot more money if you just held. Bullshit. Try this. And the other thing is look at the orders now that I have placed on the Dow. Because I took one, look, this was a loss, clear loss. This is the entries short are right here. Here's another one short. And that's my last short. So this graceful exit is a loss, but it's a good loss. It's less of a loss than where it was before. Right here and here. So it's a 47 tick loss. Now I've cleared my head. Not only have I cleared my head, I've earned the right to continue in this short at higher prices without violating my risk budget. Because, man, we're up $12. Yeah.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, we got about 15 more minutes. I'm going to see if I can go make another cup of coffee. I know I can make another cup of coffee, but I think I was mentioning before that I will consider this, regardless of the outcome, whether this stays small green or small red, the best YOLO day we could have had, because we are on all sides. I had a little bit of profit this morning. Started chirping a little bit, gave it all back, went red, but went red within control. Even though it was a YOLO day, I just can't bring myself to have bad habits. It's impossible. Like a bad habit would have been, and I could have made an excuse for a YOLO day. The S&P and the Dow went to highs against me. I had a 3-lot short. Both positions were down about $150. Fuck it, YOLO. Add more, short more, short more. There's just no levels to short more there. The only thing that you could get short today was the NASDAQ at those because the NASDAQ was just at the +2s.
Order canceled. Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, I'm going to, again, this is just gracefully exit, taking more losses there, but now going into the green. So anyway, from my perspective, really good session. Hopefully you guys got something out of it as well. Let me go get a little bit more coffee and we'll go for another 15 minutes or so.
Order filled.
All right, we're back. Is anyone still here? All right, we're gonna hang out for another 15 minutes. Then we'll do a little bit of P&L and EC scores. Keep questions coming. Question here: any particular reason you don't exit that M&Q long outside up? The one you see here on the screen. Yeah, there's an exact reason, which is that I'm short calls. So I've tried to point that out a whole lot of times. So I'm short calls. So
Order canceled.
you can kind of think of this as a inverse covered call. So if you're short calls from lower prices, this is one way to kind of hedge into it, if you will, or just limit my losses. Any guidance to determine your risk budget? Great question. Got a lot of training videos on this. Easiest place to start is 10% of your available account balance. Whether that's live or if any account less than 25,000, 10% is a good place to start. And when I say 25,000, I mean cash. So if it's a prop program, your prop program $25,000 account is $1,000 or $1,500. So you'd have a risk budget of about 100 to 150. So establish a risk budget that's based on a percentage of your total account value. The next great thing to consider doing is start with just the Dow Jones. So we're putting together some criteria now for how we're going to measure progress. I'm going to take one of these here.
Order filled.
Now I want to sell the highs if we get there. So I think I mentioned earlier that one of the things that informs when I'm going through these prop programs that I have a $440 risk budget is that as I started trading these again about 4 or 5 months ago, for a long time we were all over the shop. Like I would pass them and cancel, or I would trade live accounts, or we did a bunch of things. But I've been pretty focused for the last 6 months or so on doing the same thing that you guys are all doing. And the accounts that have the sweetest value for us are 25 to 50,000. So we're going with the 25s. Those are $1,500 accounts, and we're using a 10% or 15% daily risk budget. Most people's risk budget is about $150 to $200. And then they start by just trading the Dow, because the Dow has a volatility profile that's pretty manageable, and it's 50 cents per point, right? So but as I ramble, the final factor to consider is, as you progress, are you earning the right to increase your daily risk budget? And the only way you know that is by how many days have you gone without exceeding your daily risk budget, and then what is the average of your 3 largest days over a 2020 period. If you have made 120, lost 100, made 150, lost 50, made 80, made 60, made 90, lost 100, made whatever, you know where I'm going, but never made 150 or 200 or 250. By the way, we call that a large G day, or a day that exceeded your risk budget, which also is the only way to measure progress. The only way to measure progress is your performance relative to a unit of risk, which, by the way, that's how professional money management is done. Actual, real prop traders. Okay, because you can't apply a Sortino ratio or a Kalmar or, you can't apply any of those ratios because they just don't work for active day trading. What you have to do is, what is your alpha that you're generating per unit of risk? So if in those 3 days you ended up having you had a $300 day, you had a $700 day, and you had a $400 day. Again, same sizing, trading micros. It just so happened that the market was, I hate using this word, but working for what you were doing. Now you earn the right to consider increasing your risk budget. Because what we can't do is eat like a bird and shit like an elephant. All right. So this Top Step X over here finally made a little money here. I'm going to buy this.
Order filled.
And then just join the bid. Resell the highs here if we get back up there. Can you say that part on metrics for day trading? Can I say that part again? Well, the problem is I ramble so much, I don't know what you want me to say again. Listen. Yes, I'm one of the stars of The Hangover, but not Stu. This is Bradley Cooper right here. Listen, if you were in a cold plunge pool at 4:30 in the morning and your coffee machine wasn't working, no, you're the dentist. All right. So the part again about the metrics for day trading, I don't know what I was saying. We were just talking about risk budgets. So risk budget, 10% of your available account balance. And then you earn the right to increase your risk budget based on how well you preserve, protect, and respect it, and then what the average of your largest days is. Because you're not going to be making progress until you eventually get off the bunny slopes a little bit. We're going to stay on the bunny slopes until there is no possibility that we fall, right? That's the idea. Anyone who's skied for any amount of time is not going to fall down on a bunny slope, no matter what they do. They could start skiing backwards or whatever. They just have enough proficiency that they're not going to fall down on a bunny slope. By the way, that's my favorite. You guys seen the, what is his name? What's that comedian's name? David Spade. God, he has this funniest thing on skiing. He's like, so I come up with these skiers and they're all better than me. And it's like, how about if we stay on Candy Cane Lane and Popsicle Stick? And like, no, we're going to Devil's Ballsack. Get on the lift. All right, so basically if one trading day for, all right, maybe I do look like that. Brad, stop it. I don't know. I met Ed Helms in Louisville at the Bourbon Festival. Super cool dude. I didn't know he's a musician. He's a musician. I don't know if you knew that. So, all right, but let's answer Espresso's question. If you have profits reaching or exceeding your risk budget, you are done for the day. The only time you're ever done for the day is when you hit your risk budget. You hit the close button, you're done for the day. That's the only time you're done for the day. In terms of profit, we have what we call the power of quitting, and it's very nuanced, right? So one thing that I think we've pretty much determined is try to trade the morning hours are better. A lot of people are giving back decent amount of profits in the afternoon. So if you've already made some money in the morning, quit. That's a good idea, Just quit. if you made some money. Now, how much money? Because the problem with quitting when markets are moving pretty nicely and they are flowing relative to your trading strategy is those are the days where you can exceed your daily risk budget on the upside and put up a big G day and get into a position where you feel there's a lot of people that have limiting beliefs about they finally can get to the point where, okay, I kind of get how I'm not going to, I don't lose. I'm pretty conservative. They identify themselves in terms of those classifications. Oh, I'm kind of conservative. So, this is a little outside my comfort zone. And they don't allow themselves to ever have that big outsized winning day because they always stop beforehand.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, we got 5 more minutes left. Let's do our P&L and EC scores. If you're here just for our fun day, whatever, hey, listen. I fuck on you. We say that at our poker game all the time. We have a lot of Mr. Chow. Mr. Chow comes out in our poker games all the time. You suck out on somebody really bad on a big pot. I fuck on you. All right. So for those of you who don't know our legend, hey, Brad, can you post the legend in there real quick if you have it handy so that everybody here that's joining us today can understand what we're talking about? Remember, you only judge trading skill and trading skill advancement as a unit of risk. So how well did you perform relative to the amount of money that you were able to risk? There we go. So awesome. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Remember, you can always come on in here and try us out for 2 weeks for absolutely free. We do have a lot of people that are doing this multiple times. I get it. Not everyone has the financial ability to join, but you should be able to determine within 1-2 week trial if this is kind of for you. And again, I'm not selling strategies. I'm not selling indicators. I'm selling a one-to-many mentorship. And I'm telling you, the only way you're ever going to progress with this is to practice. And there are various forms of practice. If you come and fiddle around on your guitar without proper instruction, you're never going to get any better. If you practice based on a YouTube video that you watched, you're not going to get any better. Ultimately, you're not going to become a premier good guitar player or advance in anything you want to do, sports or anything else. So I think I could be that guy for a lot of people. Make the investment when the time is right. But you have to come in and practice watching somebody that knows what they're doing. Knows what they're doing for the exact process that you're trying to get through, which is that most of you, here, put it another way, this is a good fit for you if you believe that these prop programs are useful, good investment of money and a good way to trade, and a way in which for a very low dollar amount, but a high investment amount of your time, which is worth a lot of money, you can come in and cash flow these eventually in a low stress way, and in a way where you really turn them into ATMs. So that's what we're all about here. And the legend's in there now. Let me put it up. So I'll put it in the room so that people on YouTube can see it. There you go. So we want to keep our pain threshold very, very low. And we want to be in this zone right here and as often as possible up here. But this zone is fine here too. Again, I was saying earlier, if you didn't hear me, that if you establish a daily risk budget and then put a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio on any trade and then go long or short at random, you can literally flip a coin. You can flip a coin, go long or short, one micro contract with a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio and a daily risk budget of $150. Are you ready for me to tell you something? You will never blow up that account. Just on slippage and commission, it would take you years to lose $1,500. Does what I'm saying make sense? Like literally years to make $1,500, to lose $1,500. Years. And that's randomness, completely random. So what could you do if you applied the same very stringent risk requirements and actually gave yourself a little bit more edge in terms of your entry criteria? I know you all know this. There is no excuse for participating in these programs and being stressed out, resetting accounts, gambling them up. If you're doing that right now, just stop. Please stop. And think of it in the TDG way. All right, that'll be it. We're straight up 8:30. Clearly, not a whole lot of YOLOing today. But as of the time I'm finishing the recording, we're in some positions. We're up about $30. I'm up $612 in real money, which is good. That's important. And then also over here, I think I did 1 or 2 trades. We're up a whopping $16 here and $20 across all those accounts there. So stuff works. All right, that'll be it. Have a great weekend. Again, using this password that you used today, it's going to change for trial members starting on Monday. So if you want to come back, make sure you sign up for the actual trial so you get the email for the new password. But this password will work, and you can hang out in here and go watch the recordings if you want. Go to Archives Recordings. Did I miss any other questions? I don't think I did. No. All right, gang. Stay green, trade like you mean it. We'll see you later. Be good. Bye-bye.